Alright YouTube, thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. It'd help my numbers go up, and there's 50% of the people that watch haven't subscribed, so if you could subscribe, that would be fantastic. Hope you enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. Good evening YouTube, subscribers, watchers. It's Sunday night, the 27th of September, and to be honest with you, I've spent the entire weekend in my bed. Must have caught a little virus or something. Hopefully it's no the virus, but spent the weekend sleeping and watching telly and not doing very much. But just to get a little bit of an update to what's happening here. Paul and Darren get into town yesterday morning, and they picked up a loaded trailer that I had preloaded for them in Twin Falls and Nissa, Oregon. Wes went home at the weekend, and I grabbed the truck and trailer from him down in Brigham City and bounced across, picked up those two things, and get in here late Friday night and did not feel good. So my little girl has special needs, and I thought I'll be prudent and go get a COVID test yesterday, and I did that. It did cross my mind, I don't think I have it, I just want to be sure. But it did cross my mind when I was doing that, and you know, things go through your mind when you're not keeping very well, that you think, I wonder. But it must be horrific if you're no very good health. I'm pretty fit for my age, and I try to live pretty good, but if you haven't lived good and you're infirm really, and you start to get a cough and a sore throat and a fever and a temperature, you know, there's a lot of people in the world that have had those symptoms come along, and before they know it, they're no longer. So it must be a horrific thing to have that happen. But hopefully they come up with a cure for this and a vaccination for it. So those guys are away to Chicago with a load. I never go to Chicago. It's the first load that I've taken to Chicago, and oh my goodness, I couldn't tell you the last time I've sent a truck to Chicago. Try to avoid it all the time. Don't know why really. I used to go to New York quite a bit, go along the bottom of Chicago around Gary, Indiana and stuff, and I used to be close enough for me because it used to get a lot of traffic, and I used to think, nah, I don't want to go in there. I've heard too many horror stories about it, but I dare say there's good things to do in Chicago and good places to be. But that's where they're away to. Wes will be back up tomorrow to take this yellow truck on. Unfortunately, I hadn't planned on not keeping very well for the weekend when I preloaded the truck for Paul and Darren, but I've got a loaded trailer outside that I need to run up to Bozeman, Montana for tomorrow morning, and Brett's coming in. He's in town tonight with a load that he picked up in Georgia. It unloads in Idaho Falls, and then the next stop is in Bozeman. So hopefully that I can go do the first trip up to Bozeman and unload tomorrow, come back down, and Wes can go up the next day, because I went out and moved the truck and didn't feel that great. But fortunately, truck driving is something that you can do when you feel like crap usually, and still managed to do it, just sitting there holding the wheel and looking out the window. So that's them. Our new man unloaded in Houston Friday and reloaded, and he unloads in Salt Lake tomorrow. So I think we've got a load for him going to Florida. I'll try and get a load for Brett for the similar thing tomorrow, and Paul's bouncing across. Last week, Clay and I parted company. I wish him all the best in what he's doing. Hopefully he finds something that he really wants to do and it makes him happy, and he can make a good living at it. He's a nice guy, and wish him all the best. So can try and maybe to consolidate things a little bit here. Want to have a good quarter at the end of this year. Last year was kind of up and down with the oil field, and it was good and it wasn't good and it was inconsistent. And the last quarter of the year, was good for us, and so I want to have a good last quarter, knowing full well that February and March may be sketchy, as it was last year. But that's where we're at with things at the minute. I've got a couple of plans for some videos. I'm going to try and do some how-to videos. If you want to watch them, great. If you don't, that's fine too. But there's a lot of people out there that would like to know how to buy a truck, how to. I get a lot of email questions, how to buy a truck, how to get your own authority, how to book a load, what does insurance cost, what do you have to do to be able to do this on your own, and there's a lot of that gets asked, so I'm going to make a couple of videos about that. And there's a thing that I want to do. I use the DAT board to find my loads, and I'm going to try and do something on a regular basis to let people see how I use the DAT board, what the DAT board is. It's a load board, obviously. It's not like a DAT board, it's a DAT, D-A-T board. And so I'm going to do that and let people see what loads are out there. Because when I was out of the trucking game, I was in London in the coach game, I used to watch that and see what the rates were and what loads were paying, and going to certain areas, and just to get a rough idea what the rates were. Because a lot of people will tell you, this is how much a truck costs. You can see how much the fuel costs. So I want to kind of make it so that it's something there that people can get a look at and think, either, why do these people do that? Because they're not making any money, or wow, that's a really good way to make a living. So hopefully when the numbers come up on the screen, you'll be able to see. Obviously, when you can look at going around the country, there are different areas where you'll get different loads, and you don't really go from a hot area to a hot area to a hot area. If you get a really good paying load going somewhere, chances are when you're coming back, it doesn't really pay as good. I mean, some of the rates that we get right now going down to Florida, there are obviously a little, if you watch the stock market, the people that are in it, that's what I use the DAT board for, that purpose, not for the stocks, but to monitor the rates. If I'm booking a load, if somebody calls me up with a load that's not done through the DAT board, I use the DAT board as a reference point, is to see what loads are paying. So people that are in the stock market, there will be little ups and downs that they get all the time, but if you ever see them, they go up, and there can be a trend. There'll be ups and downs, or the other way. There can be ups and downs daily or every few days, but there's a trend, and I try to watch the trends using the DAT board. I book a lot of loads through the DAT, and I find it really good. But the fact that they've got on there the posted rates can give you a quick glance at what is a good rate and what an area is paying. So if I'm taking a load from here down to, we're in Idaho, so we get shippers up here. But if you're not from here and you don't know the shippers, then you might have to find a load in the DAT board. Sometimes I'd have to find them up here as well if my clients that I work for don't have loads. So before I go somewhere, I'll check on the load boards to see, okay, for instance, Chicago right now in Illinois, it's a good spot to be if you've got a reefer or a dry van. So the load that I got going out there paid really good. I had to go to the Oregon border to get it, which was a bit of a drawback, but typically loads going to Chicago, they don't play that great because it's a good spot to be. Loads going to Florida, they pay good money because there's not a lot coming out of Florida for probably 9 months of the year. There's maybe 3 months that you get a bit of citrus and a bit of sweet corn, and different seasons. And we are what is termed in the industry, I would have to say that we're produce chasers. All right. When the onions are on, we'll be hauling out of Western Idaho. When the spuds come on, we'll be hauling out of Eastern Idaho. When it's watermelon season, you'll find us down the border, down at Nogales. It used to be that we would be down in Southern California when it was shrub time. We picked up loads in the border of avocados coming in from Mexico. So just to give you an idea how that works, everybody that goes to Walmart or one of the grocery stores can see there's fresh watermelon all year round. Well, they're not fresh everywhere. They're not fresh in the one spot in America all the time. I don't believe anyway, I don't think so. This is only my interpretation. But it seems like though, there will be fresh watermelon in certain parts of the country. We'll pick them up and take them to the Walmart DCs. And then there's times where you get the watermelons coming over from Mexico. That must be when they're ripe. That's when their season is. And then we'll go down there, we'll bring them up from Nogales, and it's summertime is, you know, watermelon consumption time. There are other times where they're not in season in the States, they're not in season in Mexico, but they're in season in Central America. And so we'll end up picking up watermelons in Florida that have come off of a boat down in Pompano Beach area, and they come in there off the boats from Central America. And so we kind of chase around where the hot spots are. You don't want to be in Nogales when it's no watermelon season, you know. Idaho for us is a pretty stable market because there's always onions, there's always potatoes all year round because they store them and ship them out all year. There's also all the dairy stuff that we get up here. So it's a pretty steady market here. So I'm going to try and do a thing to show where the good loads are, you know, so that if anybody's thinking of doing this, they can, you know, if they're an owner operator and they think of getting their own authority, they can sign up with the DAT and go ahead and, you know, do. If you don't have it, you're an owner operator. If you're a one-man band with a refrigerated unit and you don't have the DAT board, you're losing money. My opinion only. Okay, but I think it's quite an invaluable thing to have because even if you're not booking every load through that, you can monitor the rates. You can monitor what is hot and what is not, and having that information out there all the time, I just use it all the time. There's no a day in my life that I don't go into the DAT board. It's an app on my phone, and I use it time and time and time again. Constantly use it. I don't really post where my trucks are because I don't want millions of people calling me, trying to offer me silly loads going up to New York City. You know, I try to limit where I'm looking for a load to go. So, but it's invaluable. I use it all the time, and so I'm going to do a few tutorials, if you like. I don't know if I'm being a tutor, but it's just what I've learned. And if you want to watch them, great. If you don't, that's fine as well. But it's just things that I'm doing that I think try to keep a bit of integrity with the channel here as well, so that, and a bit of transparency, so that you can see how we load trucks here in the States and how we do it with the reefer units and stuff. So there's that. And also another note about the channel there, there was something that I did recently. I'm not proud of it, but a couple of people told me, you should probably take that down, or you should, you know, but I don't think it's right that I should filter the channel. I think people should see the ups and the downs. So the video I put out recently about being robbed in Little America, do you know what? The $400 that they asked Brett for, was very high in my opinion. And even paying the $268 or $86 or whatever it was, I can't remember, it was still very high in my opinion. But I don't have to use them. I didn't have to use them. I could have got somebody else. They were there, they were convenient, and they've got you there. And whether I think it's right or wrong, that's my opinion. But I got angry and I went on a rant, and I don't like being that way, but sometimes you get frustrated, and it's important for me doing this channel that people should see that, yeah, you lose your cool sometimes and you can understand why, but it's my choice to do business with them or not do business with them. You know, they haven't got me there in a gate with the gate shut and I've got to pay all that money to get out, you know. Had I been there myself, I'd have probably bought a set of jumper cables. I usually have a set when I'm running, and I know how to hook things up. but there's always the risk that when you've got somebody out there that's not that mechanically inclined, I'm not saying that Brett isn't, but I don't know what he's capable of, and not that you tell him hook up a set of battery cables to the reefer unit and charge up the batteries in the truck. Done that before, and vice versa the other way, when you've got maybe a battery going bad and your reefer's on stop start and it doesn't start because it's been off for a long time or whatever, to jump start one from the other. Or I'd have bought a battery, and then if it didn't start with that one, I'd have bought another one, and you know, so forth. But when you're at the mercy of somebody, you either pay up and shut up or move on. So I did have a rant. I'm not proud of it, but it was reality, and that's what my channel's all about, is a wee bit of reality there. So but that's that. So I'm planning to do some bits with the dartboard, try to do some how-tos and do some regular videos on you know, what's been happening with the trucks and how we're doing. But all in all, we're doing pretty good with the trucks. YouTube channel's growing. Quite pleased with that. Looking forward to getting a wee break and going home for a bit, back to the old country, see the wife and take care of things at home for a little bit. So, but anyway, that's what's been going on. If you haven't subscribed so far, I'd be grateful if you did. That'd be great. Subscribers are climbing, the views are climbing, and I'm almost making enough money every day off of the YouTube, almost, that I could buy a Happy Meal. You certainly don't do this for the money, that's for sure. But anyway, I like doing it, you know, and hopefully someday that when I'm sitting in a nursing home, I'll be able to look at some of these things and go, I remember what you were thinking that day. So, all right, thanks for watching. Speak to you later.